Section 12.8, comparisons and order of operations with fractions. Okay, order of operations hasn't changed. Even though we're dealing with fractions, that hasn't changed. But comparisons, that's going to be something we really need to kind of focus on here. Okay, compare fractions. Use the order of operations to simplify expressions containing fractions, and we're going to find the average of fractions. Once again, that's something that's not going to change. You find the average of every type of number the exact same way. Okay, to compare two fractions. Find the least common denominator, LCD, remember, or LCM. Change each fraction to the equivalent fraction with that denominator, and then compare the numerators. Okay, let's just look at this here for a second. Let's compare these fractions. Which is larger, 5/6 or 7/8? Well, how much larger? Well, notice the LCD is going to be 2, 2, 2, 3 is 24. Or notice that if we started writing these out, because these are small numbers, eventually we start writing out the multiples of 6. 24 will be the first time that they would both match. Okay, so come in here. Notice we're going to make everything have the same denominator. Well, 5/6, when you change that over to the 24th, it's going to be 20 24ths. 7/8, that's going to be 21 over 24. And notice here that the 21 here is larger. Okay, so that will be our larger number there. And then if we do 21 minus 20, don't forget your 24th on the bottom. Notice that this number here is 1 and 24ths larger. And it's literally straightforward and simple, just like that. Don't make it any harder than what it has to be. Okay, let's come down here, and now we're going to do the orders of operations. Okay, simplify within the grouping symbols such as parentheses, brackets, or braces. If there is even more than one pair of grouping symbols, start with the innermost grouping symbols. Evaluate exponents. Okay, we're going to do the multiplication and division, moving left to right. Same thing with addition and subtraction. Or as we've learned by now, we're going to be doing the PEMDAS. Okay, so let's do one here. Let's do an example. Let's come in here and we've got 9/10 minus 1/4 squared plus 1/2. Okay, a rule that you may not know of is whenever you have a power right here, you go to here and here with that power. Okay, so let's kind of start working here. Using our PEMDAS on this one, notice we do have an exponent here, so we need to go straight to the exponent, because we also do have a parenthesis here, but there's only just a single term on the inside. So rewriting this, notice I'll go and do this in black. We got 9/10 minus, okay, let's rewrite this as 1 squared all over 4 squared plus 1/2. Simplifying this, we're going to have 9/10 minus, okay, well 1 squared is just 1, and then 4 squared is going to be 16, and then plus 1/2. Well, now we need to find the least common denominator here, or least common multiple. So we can come in here and we can start writing out our prime factorization of 10, 16, and 2. Well, notice the 2 is just going to be a 2. 10 here is going to be 2 times 5. And then 16 here, well, we can have 2. Well, what else can we got here? We got 2, and then 2 times 8. But then for the 8, we could have 4 times 2. So we could have 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, and then what time? Okay, 4 times what equals 16? Well, 4 times 4, or 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. And so here we would have the most 2. So to find our LCM, we're going to take all those 2's, the most 2's, and go 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And then we're also going to take this 5. Okay, when we do all that, we end up getting 80. Okay, so now we need to come in here and take this right here, and we're going to try to create an 80, not try, we're going to create an 80 for all our denominators. So notice here, we're going to have 9/10, and to get that, we're going to multiply everything by 8. Okay, minus, okay, now I've got 1/16, and 80 divided by 16 gives me 5. Okay, so come in here, I'll put a 5 down. And then over here for 2, we're going to end up having a 40, because 1/2, to create that into an 80, we need to multiply it by a 40. And then what I do to the top, I have to do to the bottom. Okay, so 9 times 8 is going to give me 72. All over 80 minus 5 over 80 plus 40 over 80. And then we can do the math of this. I got 72 minus 5 plus 40, and that gives me 107. Okay, over 80, which is just fine. You can keep it that way, or you can change it to a mixed number, okay, which you would have to go in there and go, okay, well, how many times will 80 go into 107? Well, that's going to be just one time. Okay, well, 107 minus 80, and that's going to give me 27 all over 80. And so that's how you would do that to keep it in improper or mixed number form. And that's also how you do the orders of operation. So jumping here now, let's go and start finding the average of some mixed numbers. And I'm going to be honest, on these, I jump always usually and go and change them all to improper fractions. So changing these, we've got 1 1/2, 2 3/4, and then we've got 3 5/8. Being very careful here, let's do my 2. I've got 2 times 1 plus 1. So 2 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is going to be a 3. So this is going to be 3 over 2. Here, notice I'm going to have the 4 times 2 plus 3. So 4 times 2 is 8, plus 3 is 11. So that's going to be 11 over 4. Okay, and then right here, I'm going to have 8 times 3 plus 5. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24, plus 5 is going to give me 29. Okay, so that's going to give me 29 over 8 right here. Okay, let's be very careful here. We're going to take my 3 over 2 plus 11 over 4 plus 29 over 8. Notice here, I've got to create a common denominator, and we can see that 8 is going to be the least common denominator here. So let's do 2 times 4, and what we do at the bottom, we have to do at the top. 4 times 2, and the same thing. And then go ahead and kind of do the math on this. We got 4 times 3 is 12. And then make sure to put the 8 on the bottom. Plus, we've got 22 over 8. And then we've got 29 all over 8. Okay. When we do all the math of this, we're going to end up getting 63 over 8, which is just fine. I wanted an improper fraction by the end of this. So continuing on, notice when we do averages, now we're going to have to divide everything by 3. So we can come in here and go, well, 63 over 8 divided by 3. Well, the reciprocal of 3 is going to be 1 over 3. So let's do 63 over 8 multiplied by 1 over 3. And notice now we can go ahead and come in here and reduce. I've got this. This will go down to a 1, and then 63 divided by 3 is going to give me 21. Okay, and so being very careful and intentional, notice my final answer could very easily be 21 over 8. We can keep it in that form, or we can come in and go, okay, well, I want to change this back to an improper fraction, or sorry, mixed number. So how many times will 8 go into 21? Well, it's going to go in there 2 times. Okay, well, 2 times 8 is going to give me 16. Okay, well, 16 minus 21 is going to give me 5. So I can put the 5 there, and then go ahead and keep my denominator. And this is how you would find the average of fractions, okay, of mixed numbers. Okay, notice, like I said, for me, I changed them all over to mixed numbers, and then you can change it back if that's what the question wants you to do.